Welcome to this edition of Twinings Tea Tasters. Now in this edition we're going to be looking at a beautiful delicate green tea from the southern provinces of China. This tea is called Jasmine Butterflies. Now the beauty of these southern provinces of China is a lot of them are still quite rural, and the traditional handcrafting methods that have been used to produce these teas have been passed down generation through generation, and so the original skill set is still there. The other benefit of these southern provinces is that they have access to the Pacific climate. This makes an ideal situation for growing a lot of the white, green, oolong and black teas that we drink today. So let's have a look in a bit more detail how these beautiful shaped teas have been made. So a very young leaf and bud from the very top of the plucking table of the tea plant is selected. Now the plucking table is an area of the bush that's kept in relatively flat and tidy conditions so the plucker can always select those premium parts of the plant. The harvested leaf or bud and leaf is then collected and gently steamed to prevent any further oxidization and therefore becoming either an oolong tea or a black tea. While these leaves are still malleable, the skill of the plucker or tea producer is then put to test, and they take these leaves and delicately make a bow and then put another leaf around the other way to make another bow, and that gives a beautiful shape there of a butterfly or like a bow tie. Infused gently with jasmine, scented with jasmine, jasmine leaf becomes really apparent when it's intertwined with those fresh young leaves from the tea plant. The quality of the leaf used to make these jasmine butterflies is evident when you look in a bit more detail. On the underside of some of the leaf we're seeing this pico, this leaf hair, which is indicative that the tea is grown in a really clean, stable environment and that the plants obviously have a very, very good quality. Let's make up some of these beautiful jasmine butterflies, and we're going to do it in a variety of methods, some of which of course you'll be quite familiar with. Now the great thing I think about jasmine infused teas is it really is one of those teas where the longer you leave it the stronger the jasmine flavour is, up until of course a certain point. So we're going to use our traditional tea tasters crockery that we use on tea tasters. We'll have a go at using this 2-litre pot to make some up, and of course where would we be without our old friend the gaiwan, which is a fantastic way of tasting teas at various stages through their brew cycle, through their brew life. So what I'm going to do for our tea tasting crockery is I'm just going to put a teaspoon, so if we're going to be pure, it's about 2.5 grams, which is about 5 or 6 of these little butterflies. In my gaiwan I'm going to use a couple of pinches of tea. Now a pinch of tea of course is the traditional, or one of the traditional measures of tea in some areas of China. I'm just going to put 2 little pinches in there, and then of course this 2-litre pot here we're going to need to use around about 6 teaspoons. If you like your tea slightly fuller and bolder in its character or its flavour, then you can use a 7. So I'm just going to pop, I'm going to put 6 in because this tea does deliver really delicious flavour. On tea tasters we've always said about 3.5 minutes and water just off the rolling boil. Now if you want to, you can start experimenting a little bit with water temperatures, and you can start experimenting a little bit with brew time if you're looking for a different mouthfeel or different intensity of flavour. So I've boiled our water up here and I've allowed that to cool for 2 or 3 minutes. There's still a gentle steam coming off the top of the water. That's good for a white tea, a green tea like these butterflies here. And of course with a gaiwan you can try tasting your tea maybe after 20 seconds, 40 seconds, then a couple of minutes. I'm just going to allow that for about 20 seconds while I quickly fill up this tea tasting crockery here. We're going to fill that up to about 1 centimetre from the top, which is giving us 250 mils of water there, and that's our standard that we use. And of course we've got a 2-litre pot here, and I'm just going to use the rest of my water to fill that pot up. Now, you might need to experiment a little bit to find the right time for you. We do say 3 to 3.5 minutes, and of course that's ample time for releasing all those different tannins, you know, the colour components, the flavour components of the tea. But I'm going to give this 2 minutes because that's good for me, and we'll see what it tastes like. Now, my going one's had a good 30 seconds, so I'm looking forward now to being able to taste the first brew from that guy one. So we'll taste all these different intensities of tea. Absolutely gorgeous. The first thing that comes through, of course, are those very, very discerning jasmine notes of the tea. But let's save it for our 3.5 minutes of our tea tasters crockery, because that's the standard that we're always using on tea tasters. The tea produces a beautiful golden liquor, and again it's got a nice depth. It's got a nice hue, very, very transparent. But let's have a taste. Oh, delicious! Absolutely sublime. Just filled with beautiful, heady, floral aroma and character. And the green tea sits as a base just beneath that jasmine. It really is a refreshing tea that you can drink any time of the day, especially when you've got a bit of me time, a bit of solo time. And equally, if you're going to have a snack with your tea, then anything, soft vegetable sandwiches or any soft vegetables or fruits are going to go really, really well with this tea. So of course, if you've made it in your teapot, and you can pour yourself a delicious brew. And of course, if it's going to be a while before you drink the next cup, you can always stop the infusion process by just depressing these little levers on these particular designs of pot. And you can see there what a refreshing, delicious looking cup of tea. And again, that really strong, pungent jasmine aromas filling the air. So this has been Twinings Tea Tasters. These have been Jasmine Butterflies. My name is Mark, and until next time, happy tea times.